pity for the weak.
What's up, Trash Fam? It's James Hauser from Bad Movies Rule Podcast, and I'm here with Ryan Madela.
Mortal Kombat!
And we are here to talk, about how to fix 1995's Mortal Kombat. Now, before you start to get upset, I was a child of the 90s. I love this movie, but is it perfect?
Not even close.
Now, he's a millennial, so he doesn't have that nostalgia pull that I have.
I would rather watch DOA.
The fight, the chicks fighting game movie?
Yeah. Jamie Presley is an American hero in that. Right. Have you seen her bikini? It's an American flag.
All right, so now you know at least where he's coming from on this. The point is when we do these how to fix videos, it's not that we think the movie stinks. It's like, what are a few decisions they could have made differently that would have made it even better? Because even the movies that we love that are really great, they're not all perfect. So we're going to go through 6 ways that this movie could have been just even better. How to fix Mortal Kombat. Let's go. Number 6. Reptile.
Or lack thereof, because he's a stupid CGI lizard.
Everybody loves Reptile, one of my favorite characters from the game. He was hugely popular, and it was really cool as a kid seeing Reptile appear in the movie. But then you go back and watch it now, and he looks like Gex from PS1. It's really bad.
It's rough.
And I know this was mostly budgetary here. The movie only had a $20 million budget. Not a lot in the mid-90s for a blockbuster.
You know what's cheaper than CGI?
What's that?
Just having a guy dressed up like Reptile.
Yeah, I think if the first fix I would tweak for this movie is just have him in the green ninja suit. He always looked like Sub-Zero or Scorpion, just in a different color.
The Sub-Zero and Scorpion both were just dressed like themselves almost the whole time. So why couldn't they just do that?
They could do that and maybe just have his arm change or his face change for a quick part of a match. He has probably the best fight in the movie with Liu Kang. Have a little part of that where he suddenly changes into a reptile, pour all your CGI money into that one part. Instead, what they end up with is something that just does not hold up at all.
Number 5, Katana and Liu Kang's lame expo dump.
Yeah, this one's a little rough. They get to the point in the tournament, I think it's the 4th match in the tournament, where it's Liu Kang versus Katana.
But it's not really a match because no one has to lose.
Right, they're just kind of wrestling. Katana spent the entire time in her dressing room just practicing the move where she grabs his arm and bends him over.
Okay, I'll bend him like this and say, you need to use the element that gives life.
Just say water.
It rhymes with hotter.
Just say water. Why use 7 words when one word does the trick, right? Here's the thing.
SeaWorld?
The movie, from a writing standpoint, there's some things that are excellent, some of the great one-liners in this movie, but then the way the characters give exposition, like in this, where you just had Shang Tsung say, don't let Katana anywhere near the good guys, and now you've got him matched up, and he's just like letting them fight and whisper in the corner. He's like, hey, what are you guys doing over there?
Hold on a second. Yeah. I said you had to fight and try. I can tell you're not trying hard enough.
Right. Number 4, recast Raiden.
Yeah, I don't think Cubs fan Raiden worked so well in this one.
That's so accurate. It's like not only is he not an Asian guy, he's like the whitest dude of all time. A Cubs fan is a perfect description of Raiden. So when Liu Kang says, he is not your god of light, and I'm like, yeah, I don't think he is.
I just had a beer with him the other day.
The guy's hanging out at Murphy's behind the stadium. Okay, so Raiden is probably one that everyone knew would have been on this list. Love Christopher Lambert. This is no slander against him. They gave him the job. He took the job. He did the best he could with it, but it just sticks out like a sore thumb.
He tried really hard. You could tell he really went for it. But it's like, good job trying. Like, I appreciate the effort, but no.
And then, is it because you also cast Chris Lambert that you didn't have him fight at all? We didn't get one Superman dive across the, anything?
I didn't like that he had no part in fighting.
He flashed his sparkly eyeballs at a few guys.
Number 3, Goro can't hang onto a cliff with 4 arms.
Yeah, okay, so I don't know if this is a way to fix the movie or rather just one stupid part I'd really like to take out. But this is a nitpick, but it's always bugged me at the end of the Johnny Cage match. He's hanging on a cliff. He's got 2 of his little flippers holding onto the rock, and his other 3 arms are just dangling. Like, are the bottom 2 still holding his nuts? Because what? You got 4 arms, dude. Hang on to the
do something.
Do something, man.
I would rework the whole fight. I mean, the dick punch is fine, but then Johnny runs away like a little baby, and then Goro comes around the corner, and Johnny's like, boop, you fall off.
That's not exactly what. He didn't just boop him. He kicked. He gave him a roundhouse kick.
Johnny is a featherweight, dude. they needed to get someone who had some actual muscle.
All right.
Goro is 500 pounds and Johnny's about 15 pounds.
They had to make that part. They had to pan out and do it super wide, super far away, and fast because of the suit. They had to have that part animated where he falls down because he couldn't do a close-up of it. So again, it just comes down to budgetary constraints. I thought Goro being practical is freaking awesome.
I appreciate that for sure.
Yes, 100%. Great suit. And I know that every other time now that a Goro, I think there was a female one, if I remember, in the most recent one, but I know it's just going to, that character will be CGI now to the end of time. So one of the things I'm super happy about it taking place in 95 is that we got a practical, real life Goro monster as opposed to computer generated, like they did with Reptile. See, in the same movie, don't do this, do this.
Yes. Yeah, I worked with Goro, and I think I would like to see a resurgence of that in filmmaking, is just bring back more practical props and everything.
Guys in suits all day.
Yeah.
If anything, like the technology we have today should just be able to not just put everything on a computer, but let us be able to make even more convincing prosthetics and suits.
Yes. And 3D printing. I mean, come on.
Yeah. Number 2, casting.
Yes.
All right, this is the one that nobody wants to talk about because this movie is beloved by so many people, and me too. But we have to be honest, guys. There's almost no big names in this movie because they didn't have any money to pay anybody. So if I could go back now, and if they could go back and realize how big of a hit this was going to be, it ended up making $120 million. They would have put more money into it, and we could have got some names. No offense to these guys that were in here. Liu Kang, Robin Shu was amazing in this movie. Some of the casting was really great. Cary Hiroyuki Sagawa, phenomenal as Shang Tsung, okay?
Yeah.
Like, just
very intense.
Very intense.
Will Patton-y.
Awesome. But then there's other people that, like, I know we've already talked about Raiden. Look, if we're being honest, Bridget Wilson as Sonya Blade, Lyndon Ashby as Johnny Cage.
Yeah.
Loved him when we were kids, but man, you can just, it's just not.
He's too small.
Well, I don't know about that. I just never bought him as a badass martial artist.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That but he doesn't look the part, and he doesn't seem like he would know how to throw a kick.
Right.
Like, I'm expecting to see a stunt double, like, very visibly every time I see him.
And Bridget got rushed to set because she was a last-second replacement for Cameron Diaz, who broke her wrist training to be in the movie.
Oh, jeez.
And they literally pulled her from the last day of Billy Madison to fly straight to set here, so she didn't even get to train or do any of that stuff. And so she did the best she could. No slight against her, but I just didn't get the sense that she was badass enough to be a Sonya Blade.
I don't know if Cameron Diaz would have been a good.
I'm not saying she would have been even to be any better, but she at least would have had time to prep.
True.
So I think if you can go back, one of the ways you could fix Mortal Kombat is from a casting standpoint.
Probably put Jamie Presley in it.
Jeez. But with Johnny, put somebody in that is a believable martial artist. If you can't afford the big name guy, find somebody that physically can embody that. And I know that Johnny Cage from the original game is not like a huge built dude, but he at least looked like he moved like a martial artist.
Well, like Van Damme isn't this huge guy, but he's limber and he's very,
well, they wanted him, but he was too busy doing Street Fighter, and the character is based off of Van Damme, so you have to get somebody that's at least Van Damme-like.
Number 1, the lack of violence.
Guys, this is Mortal Kombat.
Mortal is one of the key words there, and combat is the other one.
Yeah.
And in the game, if you've never played it and you're watching this for some reason,
I don't know why you would be.
There is so much gore that you can taste it.
Yeah. It's some of the most disgusting images I've ever seen in my life.
And I love it.
Have been on, this isn't a criticism, have been on Mortal Kombat games, and just to have it. And I know they wanted the kiddos, so they went PG-13 or PG or whatever it was.
But parents aren't going to let their kids watch Mortal Kombat anyway at PG-13.
So you're already not going to get, the reason that movie made so much is the teenagers and the guys, the adults that went and saw this. You gotta put more gore in it.
If you make it really gory and leave it with less language like it has and no like nudity, anything crazy like that, it's a little bit easier for the dads to sell that to the kid, or for the moms to be like, I'm gonna take Johnny, who's 14, to go see this. It's got violence, but there's no boobs and there's no swearing. So
Scorpion getting his head sliced in half was like as close as it came in the movie to there being a legit fatality.
And that was like Army of Darkness level.
It was a little.
What did you do? You chopped my head off.
But I think they could have done more to make it seem it's honestly seemed super tame for the label to have that Mortal Kombat thing on it.
It even felt light for a PG-13 to me.
No, it does, especially going back and looking at it again. So guys, let's put that all together. Would this have made a better movie if you had reptile CGI taken out, right? If you had a better Goro Johnny Cage fight where he's not falling off the cliff, if you had a little bit better casting, a better Raiden, sorry Chris Lambert, and more violence, more Mortal Kombat-y, better exposition, would that have been a better Mortal Kombat movie in 1995? Or are we totally wrong and the way it is the best it could have possibly been? I think if you think that, you're living in nostalgia land, and that's fine. I've got a house there myself, and I enjoy this movie. And
it goes there in the summers.
But I really think it's hard to say that it wouldn't have been better with those few tweaks.
Let us know in the comments what you think either way.
And let's make this millennial watch another movie from the 90s and see what he thinks.
I'll do it.
Yeah, and you're going to hate it, and you're going to say things like DOA is better, which is honestly one of the most ridiculous things I've ever heard.
I still have to watch Last Starfighter again because I didn't like that.